Hi, you're watching Velo News TV. I'm Neil Rogers here at the start of Stage 16 of the Tour de France. Another day, video diaries with George Hincapie. George, rest day yesterday. Take us through that really quickly. What was the highlight of the rest day for you?
The highlight of the rest day was just laying in bed most of the day. Watched the movie, watched a couple of TV shows. That was about it. We did a nice little ride. We stopped and got some coffee. Nice cappuccino in the city center, and it was good. It was a good day, very relaxing.
So obviously we head into the second day in the Alps. Kim Kärraken, you're still battling to try to get him top 5 or even better on GC. It looked like he had a little bit of bad luck. Take us through the last stage, what your role was with Kim, and how he's feeling heading into the Alps.
He feels good. I mean, he's a little bit more confident now, just because he had that problem, had to change wheels 3K into the last climb, and he still only lost a minute. So I think he would have been with the GC guys, or even a little bit ahead of them on that day. He had great legs, so I think now he's confident, and he's going to try to keep taking some time back, and he knows that he can do a good time trial as well.
The rest day is always a little unusual. You never know quite how a guy's going to come out of it. Did you expect that we might have some surprises today in the GC, where some guys maybe lost a little momentum with the rest? It's
possible. I mean, rest day sometimes takes it out of you a bit. I know the first rest day I was feeling really bad in the beginning, but I'm hoping today will be different for me. And Kim did a good ride yesterday, did a climb, so I think he'll be okay, but it does affect a lot of guys differently.
You know, looking at the way the race is shaping up right now, there's 6 guys within 45 seconds, 40 seconds. Now, how do you see the tactics playing out both today and tomorrow? Obviously, there's a 25-kilometer descent. Do you see there's possible people attacking on the descent for the GC? And then followed up with, how do you see tomorrow playing out with the 3 climbs, climaxing with the summit at Alpe d'Huez?
Yeah, I would guess that CSC is really going to have to be aggressive today and tomorrow, just because they're climbing really well, maybe better than a lot of the other guys, and they're not time trialing as good as some of the other guys. So they need to take as much time as possible in the next 2 days, and the other guys just need to follow and try to stay with them, and pretty much save it for the end. So it's going to be really interesting 2 days. I think there'll be a lot of aggressive racing.
Yeah, I mean, Schleck and Sastre are both known to be not the best of descenders. I mean, do you see guys like Menchoff or even Vandevelde trying to put time in them on the descent today?
I don't know about the descent. I would see maybe there'll be attacks right before the descent on the climb. But I don't know if any of those guys are willing to risk it all on a descent. I mean, especially after the last couple of days, there's been some bad crashes, so I would be surprised if there was some huge attacks on the descent.
Yeah, well, speaking of, where were you when Oscar Pereiro crashed, and what did you see? And tell us about your personal vantage point and experience with that.
I was just ahead of him. I actually didn't see anything. I just heard a loud bang against the railing, and didn't know what it was. And we came around the corner, and there he was laying there. So it was pretty shocking. It was probably one of the worst crashes I've ever seen. Just to see him land, and the distance that he landed from the other side of the road, the switch back down to the bottom of the next road, was pretty shocking to see, and I think it affected the whole peloton.
Yeah. Well, I asked you the highlight of your rest day. If you had to pick one highlight moment from this entire tour up through the second rest day, obviously 6 stages remaining, what would that moment be?
Probably when Cavo won the stage in the rain there, which Oleg was second, Kim was in the jersey, and Tommy was in the white jersey. I think that was probably, the team was, we weren't even expecting it to be a field sprint that day, and so we won the stage, and we had pretty much every jersey. It was a great day for the team.
All right, great. Well, hey, we've had a lot of people writing in, they're watching, they're interested in asking you questions. If you're watching and you want to ask George a question, email address is velonewstv@competitorgroup.com. This one actually comes from Velo News' hometown of Boulder, Colorado. It's from Justin Averett. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's actually a pretty interesting question. Do you guys have secret codes, gestures, signals, or sounds for communicating with your own teammates in the peloton?
Not really secret. A couple nods here and there, or thumbs up, but nothing really secret. I mean, we pretty much communicate through the radio or through talking when we're next to each other. I mean, the peloton's so big that it's hard for everybody to hear what you're saying anyway, so we don't really have any secret codes.
I've heard stories about the radios being bugged, about actually team directors listening in on other teams' radios. So knowing that, do you still communicate with just on a straightforward basis with each other over radio?
Yeah, pretty much. Unless you really don't want anybody to know what we're saying, you can always go back to the car and tell the director. But I mean, we don't really always assume that people are listening to us, so we talk pretty openly in the radio.
All right. Well, George, thanks again for the time. We look forward to talking to you tomorrow and finding out how today went.
All right, Neil. Thanks.